Good morning, guys. So we have a bunch of cars to work on. So as you guys know, that Mustang up there has more things than I could probably do in a month to do on it, but we're gonna have to do it in a month. So sick week is coming up very soon. It feels like it's like, you know, right around the corner, right up the street from us. It actually is up the street from us. It starts in Bradenton. So that's cool, but sick week is very soon and this Mustang is not very far along. So a lot of work to do, not a lot of time. Gonna really have to just spend some late nights just doing it, but not impossible. This thing, all kinds of weird issues. Mainly the clutch just going right to the floor without actually, you know, pushing the clutch discs to disengage the clutch. That seems like my main issue right now. So some kind of hydraulic issue. Has fluid, but the issue is clearly greater than has fluid. So that's a tough break all in all. After taking it to the drag strip, basically broke it. So I'm gonna push it outside. And like every great YouTube project car, I'll just push it off to the corner until you guys stop asking about it. It's usually the YouTuber move, right? This car is not my main concern. First concern is oil change on the Wagon. Second concern is pull the Camaro in here, see what the deal is. And then third concern is working on this thing, because got some parts coming, but a lot of things aren't here yet. A lot of things I could be doing, but motivation on this thing is a little hard to find sometimes, but we're getting there. Things are coming in little by little. Parts are going on little by little. There's an order of operations to things, and if you don't do them correctly, you're gonna hate yourself down the line a little bit. It's my whole philosophy always. So maybe the clutch was just really hot, causing issues. You guys ever just like, you know, maybe if I just leave something outside, maybe if I just let something sit for long enough, it'll figure itself out. Just ignored it for the holiday week. Wow, I don't know if you guys can see that windshield, but it is dirty. I mean, I could drive it, I just have to start it in gear, which not easy on things. Oh, all right, so it's probably just really hot because it went right into gear like normal. Going down far enough, I think, is an issue, but hey, look at that. This car is good to go. I was wrong. Got my tree, arguably the least successful tree from the Christmas tree race. I always have bad luck with these Christmas tree races. Gotta move both of these cars. This one is just parked poorly. There's so much trash in here too from Christmas time. This one's just parked poorly. Let's see. Oh, all right, not too bad. Wow, I genuinely thought that was going to take off way more clear coat or paint. I mean, definitely got a lot, but not too bad. All right, time for an oil change on this thing. It's been a while because I don't drive it all that much, but just going to jack it up, do a nice on-the-ground oil change, get this thing back in action, and kind of just nut and bolt it, go under it, make sure everything's good. So, oh, well, look at this. So close. Well, it's up on jack stands. A little hairy, but keep the jack under it just in case. I hate jacking this car up like this because the jack, even though it's the low reach, long jack, it does not reach far enough under the car to get to the frame rails. So I went up from the back, then up on the side, then up on the front, and yada yada yada. So you got to do that in reverse order. So like I said, I can't really drive this car all that much because of a couple reasons. That's unfortunate. Drove through a big pile of dog shit. That's a really tough break, honestly. But look at the tire. It's gone. All of them are like this all for. These ones are pretty old, these fronts, because on a rear wheel drive car like this, you don't really have to change the fronts generally all that much. My camber situation doesn't help this, but because I'm lowered, I have a good amount of camber. I don't need all that camber to be lowered, but because if I didn't have a bunch of camber, it would just rub. So fronts cooked. These are like some older Michelin. These were on it when I got the car. I don't know how old these are. These are Michelin Pilot Sport All Seasons 3 Plus. 2316, so the 23rd week of 2016. So pretty old, honestly. All in all, pretty old. Need to figure out what tires I'm gonna run on this thing. Haven't decided yet, but it's definitely time to ditch these guys. So, and then these ones on the back, I was scraping some rubber off of the fender, and these are same situation pretty much. Corded really bad here, not as bad here. I mean, still pretty close to worn down, but obviously I run a little bit of camber back here. It's just the required necessary evil in a way to be lowered. Well, I probably let this oil go for a little bit longer than I should have. It's a little dark looking, a little gross looking. Look at how black that is. But oil filter looks good. So I don't feel anything, I don't see anything. I always like cutting open every filter because why not? All right, all good. Time to go drive this thing, get a little heat in it, should be good. And also, because I know you guys are gonna say it, if any of y'all say anything about my camber on this car, might as well just unsubscribe right now because I ain't changing it. Camber is life. Low is life. Just because you guys can't handle that hella flush, hella sick camber life doesn't mean we all can't. We're not all softies. Okay, next into the garage. Old Star Child over here. Maybe I should turn it on first. If I had $1 for every time I got in this thing without turning it on, I'd probably be a lot faster than I am right now. Look at the paint on that thing. Can you see it glistening? That's not dirt. That's that Black Diamond Tri-Coat. Best paint color GM ever made. Sorry if you have a Hugger Orange Camaro or Laguna Seca Corvette or like an Inferno Orange C6Z R1. You're inferior. I don't care. You can hear it rattling really bad right now because the after like 2 or 3 events, the converter bolts will start to get loose no matter what. No matter if I Loctite them, tighten them really tight, doesn't matter. They start to get loose. I don't know if that's a harmonics thing or something else. See if I did this correct where I can lower the Mustang. That's always the goal, is to have both cars in here. This one can be up on jack stands for when I'm messing with it, and the Mustang can lower down. Yes, perfect. So both cars are usable. Should I leave the face on? What do you guys think? Face or no face? Maybe fix it. It looks kind of scary. All right, well, this car needs a good bit more TLC than the Wagon did. Not just an oil change. I gotta put this thing up on 4 jack stands and go through all of it. So someday I'll have my lift back. whatever, not really in a big rush. I can do everything on jack stands that I need to do. So I think it honestly might be something in the front, is what Jim was telling me when he was watching the videos. He said try to look for the front, see if a shock's blown out up there, and kind of see. I don't know, because hard to say. But I'm gonna put it up on 4 jack stands, take all the wheels off, and just check on everything. Tighten the converter. You guys might say to do like safety wire or something. Not opposed to safety wire, but it's really hard to do when the bolts are so far apart and there's, you know, a hub in the middle and you can't really get to them. It's just not something that's easy to do. It's not like doing like brakes where they're like this close. They're like, you know, about a foot apart almost. So let's get this thing going. Okay, here's a video of the golden retrievers and the white retriever. Oh, Luna, you good? Oh, hit her in the head. She ran right into it. Oh. You good, dude? Tough break, dude. Your sister got hit in the face by a grapefruit. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Oh. My bad. So you guys want to see something cool that I just found? It's probably really only going to be cool to you guys who don't actually own the car. But look at the front wheels. This is me trying to turn them. Goodness, permanent brake. So, gotta figure out what that is. Apparently, there's a good chance it's from the caliper actually warping. When you apply brake pressure, you know, you're kind of like applying clamping force and you can warp the caliper. So, that might be our issue. It's pretty bad on both. Well, there might be a little bit of a fluid on that strut. So, maybe the shocks are blown out. That would kind of add up. The passenger is what looked pretty bad, so I'm gonna check the driver and see how it looks. In the videos, the passenger looks like it's not extending correctly, but as you can see, the chain is designed to not allow much extension, because this car has always liked being very tight in the front. That's something I probably could have fixed that night, is loosen up the front, and it probably would have helped it leave a lot better, because that's generally how you kind of fight like a, I don't want to say no prep style situation, because it definitely wasn't no prep. For me and my car, it basically was like no prep. Added some extension, I probably could have gotten it to leave, but we'll never know. 2 passes is kind of tough to get that data. Well, 1 pass and then, yeah, that's it. So kind of tough to get that data, but that's a thing I could have done. So I'm gonna go through and see how the other side looks, how the other shock looks, see if there's fluid on it, and kind of go from there. Well, just digging around on the brake system here, just going through everything. Took the caliper off, took the brake rotor off, just kind of going through, make sure everything spins freely, make sure everything's tight, make sure everything looks good up here. I'm gonna take off the chains and drop it all the way down and see how everything looks, see how both sides compare to each other, make sure everything's good, and just kind of keep going from there. Hardware all still looks good. It's not bent, it's not damaged in any way, so we're doing well. So I don't know if I showed this at all, but this is kind of how the shock is moving over here. I took the chain off, so I let this thing droop all the way down, but this shock is moving in the actual strut like that, and you can move it on the heims like this, so the bottom heim is moving, but then it's not moving right there, and it was moving like that, tight or loose. And then over here, it's dark, but you can see it. It's moving all of it, so it's still kind of like locked in. I mean, I know that the strut should be able to twist in there, but the fact that it's twisting differently on different sides, it's kind of a little alarming to me. That's usually a sign that there's an issue. when things aren't the same. I mean, it's not even trying to twist it, so we'll probably pull these off and send them out. And I just dropped this, and it's crazy how much it drops when the weight's not on this chain. So like compression and rebound on the passenger side is 17 and 19, which is basically all the clicks to tight. So these shocks in the front were basically as tight as possible, and then the chains on top of it. So I was way out of clicks, and I am way out of clicks on the front. There's not a whole lot of tuning we can do on the front suspension. We're kind of just stuck because these are the Viking. They're not the Crusaders, they're their entry-level ones, like they're cheap ones. Very little, I have very little money into this whole suspension. Even like this K-member is a steel K-member, so it's super heavy, it's not a chromoly one. Like I said, very little money into this. These are stock uppers, stock upper A-arms, stock spindles, stock top hat, like very little money, like I said. So this is all stuff that would be nice to get rid of if we added a little bit more drop to the drop. If we got different spindles and made them drop spindles would be nice, but like I said, I don't really want to spend that money. And these are definitely very heavy, but OEM is not bad. All right, so just pulled both front shocks off because from everybody I was talking to, watched the videos, they are thinking the front end kind of looked a little funky. So these have been on here for about 2 years now, so might as well just pull them off. They don't have like a whole lot of passes on them, but they do have a good amount of highway and driving miles on them. And on that little open aluminum trailer, there's a lot of bouncing, and that is really the most, like that's super hard on shocks. And especially because I don't always zero them out. I almost never zero them out. I should be zeroing them out before every drive, and then, you know, laying under there and putting them back to the setting, but I'm always worried I'll forget, so I never zeroed them out. Not really ever. So really hard on shocks. They get really hot, they get really beat up. The passes aren't as hard on them as, you know, 1,000 miles of just sitting on a trailer bouncing up and down on the way to Texas or whatever. There's been a lot of highway miles on these, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to pull them off and send them out. I did the front just now, but I'll probably end up doing the back too. I don't know, the back seemed to have been working really well. These ones seem blown out because there's like a bunch of oil and lubricant up on top. You can see it. I don't know if you guys can see it. I wiped a little bit of it, but you can see all the dirt that's in the lubricant, whatever the shock hydraulic fluid that's in there. And then the passenger side is the one that looked the worst, and this is the passenger side right here, and you can see it's pretty coated. And then the driver's side right over here is it's got some on it, but it's not as bad as the passenger side. I mean, you can see they're both very dirty. I don't know how everything on this car gets so dirty, but it's just kind of a thing, I guess. And then I'm gonna go through the back, see how the back looks. So let's get these taken apart, because I don't need to send out the springs, I just need to send out the shocks. All right, well, I'm gonna box up these and send them out. We're not gonna do the back ones just yet. We're gonna send out the front ones and see if this fixes our issue. I don't like changing a bunch of things all at once. We're probably gonna change these valvings too to tighten them up. I got some dirt on my face, that's why I looked at you guys all funny. But we're probably gonna change up these valvings a little bit and tighten them. But like I said, I don't want to change up too much all at once. The best way to go fast is minor changes as you go. So this shouldn't really help all that much. It should just hopefully put us back to where we were, and at least start us with a clean slate. So super simple. Send these out, get them fixed, tightened up, revalved. I don't know yet. Maybe just buy new ones and send these ones back. Or maybe, I don't know what the difference is between these fronts and the rears, but I do need a set for chip, so maybe I can figure out something with that. So that'll do it though, guys. Thank you for watching. Keep it saucy. I'll see you next time.